Yeah. What's up, people? I know it's a little late. It's like, what time is it? I don't even know what time it is. Let's see. Let's get this right. What time is it? It is 11:30, and I'm up late because I don't have to work tomorrow. I got the vaccination. So my job, they give you the vac. If you get the vaccination, you get a day off because you're supposed to get sick. So we'll see what happens tomorrow if I get sick or not. But whatever, doesn't matter. So I'm up because I'm like a kid who doesn't have to get up for school tomorrow. I want to be up. Anyway, so tonight's topic is why do women marry weak men? For the life of me, I have no friggin' idea. And this is why. Here's why I came up with this topic today, right? So I live in New Jersey now, and they should rename New Jersey the Garden State to the state where masculinity comes to die. Anyway, so once in a while I got to go visit my mother in Staten Island. So I take my dogs. I have two pit bulls, and I go take a ride, go visit my mother in Staten Island. And Staten Island's still, mostly Italian, a lot of Russian, Ukrainian coming in, so on and so forth. Very masculine people. So I'm leaving my mother's house, and there's construction going on in the street. And there's these construction workers on one side of the street. I think they were DOT, I'm not sure, whatever. They got this machinery, and they're working, and blah, blah, blah. And I see them yelling, and hooting and hollering, and whatever. And across the street, there's like this little restaurant. I guess after a certain hour, it's like they're like a club or whatever, And there's these three girls standing outside, and the three girls are loving the attention, and so on and so forth. And I'm just sitting there going, oh, thank God. I love coming back here because this reminds me of how men really are. And the fact is, girls like it. So let's stop this shit. Well, let me write in. Why do women marry weak men? Okay. There we go. All right. So anyway, why do women marry weak men? All right. So basically, their instinct to be in control trumps everything. Usually, the weaker the man, the more manipulative and the more dominant the woman is. Right. But instinctually, they don't want that. Let me rephrase that. Instinctually, they don't want it, but their instinct for trumps the instinct for having a masculine, strong man. I'll rephrase it. Right? That's what I'll say. So, it is way more dangerous marrying a weak man than marrying a man who's overly masculine. It is way more dangerous for everybody, for everybody. Okay, because here's the thing, right? He's weak because he's weak. He's not weak for his wife. There's a difference. There are men that love their wife and go out of their way for their wife, but then there are men who are just weak all around. Okay, so I don't know if you guys, there's this documentary on Netflix called "Making a Murder," something like that. The Family Next Door. Anyway, so this guy is very weak, and he is married to this very dominant woman, and it turns out that he's having an affair with a girl that is stroking his ego the opposite way, making him feel like a man and so on and so forth. And he thinks he needs love, and he doesn't have the balls to leave his wife because he's weak. So he actually kills his wife and his two kids. It's a true story. It's sad. It's disgusting, but it's actually a true story. And now the guy's got life in prison. Thank God. Right. Anyway. So, see, that's what I mean by what a weak man. See, a weak man, you have terrible outcomes when you marry a weak man. Okay, number one, you're with this person for the rest of your life. That's one outcome, and he's a lump on a log. He's a lump of shit. He's nothing. He's just bleh. He's just there, right? The other possibility is that another girl comes along and manipulates him in the opposite way. Like I said, feeds his ego, has sex with him, tells him that it's the best sex she ever had, strokes his ego, tells him he shouldn't be treated like that. And then what happens? He's gone. He's gone because he's too stupid and weak that his parents, they want control over the man. And I just said that, Dayton, is exactly what I'm explaining right now. So so then he leaves, and he leaves with this girl who he thinks he's in love with. And then what happens is, what that manipulative girl is doing inevitably is, she's actually likes the idea that she's pulling him away from his wife. Like, oh, look what that's the high for her. That's the second he leaves her and goes with this other girl, the whole scenario is going to spin and be the same way, right? Because a strong man, a man who's masculine, a man who's got a backbone, a strong man's, even if he does, I know it's wrong to mess around, but even if he does mess around, those girls don't manipulate him like this. To him, they're nothing. They're crap. They're nothing. His wife and his kids mean everything. And that's just like, playtime for an hour. And then he doesn't even think about them anymore. I'm sorry, but that's how masculine men are. Right? Because having sex is nothing for a masculine man. A masculine man wants a feminine woman. He wants a woman who's kind and supportive and a helpmeet and a cheerleader and compassionate and teaches the kids and helps the kids and takes care of the kids and takes care of him when he's sick and cleans him a nice house and so on and so forth. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. I mean, that's basically one of the scenarios. The other scenario is the man is the symbol of masculinity, right? In the house, because he is a man. So he's the symbol of masculinity. And if you dominate him, obviously you're not going to have any respect for him, and you're not going to respect him in the house. So, can you start over? I missed the first part. Oh, come on, man. KB, flip it. I have to start all over again. All right, I'll recap, but we're going on to another one. So anyway, so the man is the symbol of masculinity on in general, right? You didn't tell me we were on. I didn't tell anybody. So where was I? Right. Okay. So if the man is the symbol of masculinity, period, end of story. That's it, because he's a man. So he's the symbol of masculinity. If nobody respects him in the house, those kids and you are not going to respect masculinity. So if you have a boy, that kid is going to be wind up like his father, like weak, and he's going to come home with a dominant, a manipulative girl like his mother. And then if she has a girl, she's going to be the dominant one, and she's going to pick a weak man, maybe even a weaker man than her father. And these scenarios don't work out well. They never work out. Why don't they work out? Like I said first, KB, I said that a lot of times a weak man is weak in general. Like, no, let me rephrase that. A weak man is weak in general. So he's not weak for his wife and his kids. He's weak in general. So if his wife is dominating him and disrespecting him, and another girl comes along and like strokes his ego, he's going to be gone. Or he's either going to be gone, or he's going to pull away tremendously because he doesn't have the balls to say he wants to be gone. And then I refer to the movie Making a Murder, or American Murder, The Family Next Door, something like that. I forgot. Chris Watts, guy who killed his wife and two kids because he found a hot young chick and he really thought that they were in love, all this crap, whatever, so on and so forth. The reason why you don't want your kid to turn out like that, the boy to turn out like that, is because the weaker the man is, the more of a manipulative woman is going to go after him, because she just wants to dominate him. A dominant person is always going to be wanting a submissive man because she wants to lead. But the weaker she is, then the more manipulative, the weaker he is, the more manipulative the woman's going to be, because he knows she could do anything. And then she's not going to respect him. And she'll probably think that she could do better than him because he has no backbone. The nature of a woman is to be hypergamous, right? So if you treat your girl or your wife like she's everything and you bow to everything for her, she's inevitably going to think that she deserves better than you, because that's their nature, to be hypergamous, to marry or date up. So inevitably, odds are she'll probably wind up having an affair, okay, and not respecting you. It's a terrible story. I worked with this guy. His name was Bob. We called him Old Man Bob. He was a great dude. He was the nicest guy you ever want to meet in your life. The nicest guy, right? He gets married. He has 2 kids. I actually went to high school with one of his kids. We called him Old Man Bob because he was freaking old, right? I think he's retired now. It was like 30 years older than me when we were working together. He's got to be retired now. Anyway, whatever. Marries his wife. He has 2 kids. He's very weak. He's very no backbone, so on and so forth. He's got these 2 boys, and he finds out that his wife is messing around with a guy that he knows. I don't know how good of friends. He claims it was a friend. It was not much of a friend, but he knew that she was messing around, and he stayed because he didn't want to leave his kids, and he would stay home watching the kids while she was out with this other guy. This is the scenario. This is what happens. So then a friend of his apparently talked some sense into him, and he winds up getting a divorce. And like I said, these men aren't going to change. They're weak, period. That's it. So inevitably he goes on, he meets another girl. This girl's got 4 kids, and the husband runs away to South America. This world, there are winners and losers. You hate to see it, but okay. So he meets this other girl, right? This girl's got 4 kids. And the daddy of the kids goes to South America for some religious retreat. I don't know, disappears, whatever. So he steps in. He decides he's going to take care of these kids after he didn't learn his lesson from his first wife. And he goes in $50,000 in debt, taking care of the kids for Christmas and birthdays and graduations and making sure they have it. $50,000 in debt, right? And then what happens one day, daddy comes back from South America, and it's daddy, because the kids didn't respect him, because he wasn't allowed to discipline the kids, because that wasn't his father. I mean, this is dating and marrying a weak man is too dangerous. It's more dangerous than dating a masculine man. All right. If you're masculine and you have a backbone and you put your foot down on occasion, look, there are going to be times where you're going to pick and choose your battles in your house with your wife. But there are going to be times like, no, there's no way we're doing this. Forget it. You could forget it. And you stick to your guns and you have a fight and you get angry and so on and so forth. And whatever it is, she is going to respect you. And I'm not saying to be abusive. I'm not saying to go that route. I'm saying masculine. Have a backbone. Don't take any shit. If you make sure your wife is taken care of and your kids are taken care of, and you don't take any shit from anybody, and you don't take any nonsense from your wife and nonsense and blah blah blah, and you from time to time have some man time, you go play cards with your boys, or you go to the gym or whatever. I know KB likes to ride his motorcycle. He's got like this beautiful Harley Davidson that he rides with his boys, and he's a gym head. I know that. Believe me, you are going to have a happier life. Your wife is going to be, oh, you sold the bike? That's all right. I sold the Charger. Anyway, my friend KB just sold his bike, but I sold my Charger, so it doesn't matter. Well, there'll always be another one. We'll always get another one. Anyway, believe me, the problem is if men are raised this way to be weak, I got a couple of dirt bikes. Jesus, you're worse than me. The problem is a lot of these guys, they're raised this way, they come from that family where the woman is dominant and the father is submissive, and those parents laid out the blueprint. This is what life is like, and they're usually insecure. They're usually weak inside. They're usually not happy, and they do things not because they want to, but because they believe they have to, or believe that there's a difference between a guy who takes care of his kids because he knows that is his responsibility, and he knows that it's his responsibility to take care of his wife. And then there is the guy that goes to work every day and comes home and hands his wife the check, and she tells him how much he could spend that week. There's a difference. I'm sorry, But the best part is when you talk to these girls, these dominant girls, and you call them out, they will literally lie to you and say, "No, my husband's very masculine, very masculine." You got to put a mirror under his nose, see if he's breathing. He hasn't said 3 words. He's a statue. And I've had that happen. I've had family members do that. I've had family members. I don't want to be specific because my family watches this, but I've had family members. I've had heart to heart conversations with girls in my family, and they sit here and lie to me, and they go, "No, no, no, he was very masculine," and that person couldn't look me in the eye when I shook his hand. I mean, I shook his hand. He looked at the floor, and she wants to lie to me and tell me, "No, he's very masculine." Because instinctually they know that it's wrong to marry a weak man. They know it. So they lie and they justify it to themselves. I mean, we see this all the time, and it's friggin' sad. And the weaker they are, the more manipulative the girls are going to be. I mean, I've seen girls manipulate their weak husbands to put a wedge in between him and his family. So then the kids don't see his family much. And I'm not talking about divorce. I'm talking they're together. They make up ridiculous excuses why they can't see their mother-in-law, blah, blah, blah. And everything is catered to her side of the family. And he better go along with it because, she's got him on a short leash with a choke collar. That's just the way it's going to go, And it's unfortunate. But here's the thing. In the long run, that woman who's dating that weak man is going to be miserable. She is going to be miserable. She is not going to love him. She is not going to respect him. And she is going to be in a loveless, unhappy marriage. It is just the way it is. That's just the way it is. That's it. You could sit here and every girl and every, simp could sit here and tell me, no, 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 no. Girls love a nice guy, blah, 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 blah. Listen, man, I don't care how much things change. You can't change instinct. Okay. I'm as in a lot of times I work till 3. If I work till overtime, I work till 7. Sometimes I work till 11, but if I'm not working overtime, I get out at 3. And a lot of times I go straight to the gym. So I'm there at 4. So, I go to this like little gym. It's it's actually a really good gym, but whatever. And the high school kids go there after that because they just got out of school, right? So the high school kids go. Then once 5, 6 o'clock comes around, then the working people come in, right? But since I'm a blue collar guy, I work till 3. And you could see who the high school kids, you could see who the kids are in high school who are masculine, right? And who are the athletes and so on and so forth. And you could see who aren't. Now, one of the most obvious ways you could tell now is that in New Jersey and New York, masks are optional. Technically, you're supposed to be vaccinated to not have a mask, but it's illegal for them to ask you, so they're optional. And I see 14, 15-year-old kids, 16-year-old kids in the gym, and they're wearing the mask. And do you think they want to wear the mask? No. It's their parents telling them, you better wear the mask. You're not vaccinated, you better wear the mask. Yeah, and you could tell the kids, they have the mask and they have the glasses and they're, kind of thin and they don't dress hip and they're nerdy and whatever. And you could tell that it's the parents' fault. And then you see the kids that are athletic, they're muscular because they're somewhat athletic. Some of them might even have tattoos at this point because tattoos are big, Yeah, some high school kids have tattoos. And they have more of a swag to them. They have more confidence. And no, they're not going to wear the mask, because they probably have a father that goes, don't wear the mask. Take it off, idiot. Look like a moron. It's optional now. Take it off, But that's probably been raised through his whole life. I bet you that kid went bike riding with his friends without the helmet, right? And the kid with the mask had the helmet and the elbow pads and the knee pads and God knows what else. He probably had a first aid kit in the back of his bicycle. And this is the world we live in now. So, I mean, look, if you ask a woman, who's your favorite actor? All right, 9 times out of 10, you ask a woman, who's your favorite actor? Who's your favorite male movie star you love to watch? Who are they going to say? Inevitably, who are they going to say? They say Hugh Jackman. They say The Rock. They say Vin Diesel. They say Tom Hardy. They say Bradley Cooper. They say Matthew McConaughey. Who else? Jason Momoa. That's a big one. Who's the guy that plays Superman? I forgot his name. Whatever. I forget his name. Oh, Henry Cavill. What do all these guys have in common? They, besides being all shit actors, with the exception of Tom Hardy, what do all these guys have in common? They're masculine. They're good looking. They're handsome. They're muscular. They portray masculinity. Any woman will go there. Any woman will tell you that. Not one woman says Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Woody Allen, Buddy Hackett. Buddy Hackett, he's dead, but you know what I mean. Not one woman will mention that. Will say that. And with that, what I'm basically saying is that's feeding into their instinct that they're like masculine, manly men. But ladies, I'm telling you, it is a mistake. It is a mistake to marry a weak man. And don't convince yourself that you're marrying a masculine man. That's a bigger mistake. You're just lying to yourself, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it, and that's really it. So, I mean, look, if you are, look, you want to know how you date a man, how you know you're dating a masculine man? Well, but you know how it go. I mean, let me rephrase that. You want to know how you're dating a weak man? I mean, everybody knows, but so if you come from a family where the dominant ones are the women and the weak ones are the men, then he falls right in line with the weak ones. He just falls right in line. He just same pattern. They just sit there, whatever, whatever. But if you bring home a weak man, did you ever see My Big Fat Greek Wedding when she brings home the guy with the long hair, the nerdy guy, and her cousins and brothers are just always breaking his chop. They're always breaking his balls. They're always bothering him. Always. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. Because you're gonna have to respect this guy. This guy's a schmuck. Get out of here. That's what's gonna happen. I've seen it. Whatever. It is what it is. That's it. And plus, don't you want to be protected? Like, the guy with a half a backbone, somebody says anything or does anything to his wife or his kids. Oh my God. I used to be afraid. When I was a kid, I used to be afraid to tell my father if somebody, an older guy, or did something to me in the neighborhood. I used to be afraid to tell him because I knew he'd go kill him. And I would just be, because I remember this one time. I'll never forget it. Okay. I used to live in Brooklyn, Bensonhurst, blah, blah, blah. And at the time when I lived there in the 80s, it's all Italian and very, very, very masculine. I mean, if you couldn't survive if you weren't tough. Anyway, whatever. So there's this guy in the neighborhood named Joey Nose. I had to be young, 6, 7. I don't know. I was young. He was teasing me. He was squeezing my head, and he was making me really frustrated. I went to go hit him, but he was so big. He was like, my brother's age, 18, 19, and he squeezed my head. And I got so frustrated. I cried and I ran inside. And I remember the girl who used to babysit for me was there, Debbie. And I go inside, I'm crying. My brother comes downstairs. And I said, what happened? And my mother is on the couch holding me. And he comes downstairs. My oldest brother comes downstairs and says, what happened? I said, Joey Nose hit me. Oh, to this day, I wish I never told him that. I wish I told him I tripped or something. Because if it wasn't for my other brother pulling him off him, I think he would have killed him. And from that day, I was afraid to tell my older brothers or my father if anybody bothered me or any older guy bothered me. Because if a guy my age did something to me, I was afraid to come home and tell them somebody's bothered me. Because if I didn't fight back, my mother would beat me up. And I remember when we moved to Staten Island, it was like a lot of dirt roads. So my father bought me a dirt bike, So, today kids have bicycles with helmets, and I had a dirt bike with no helmet riding on the dirt road, a couple of blocks away from where I used to live in Staten Island. Now, now it's all built up. And I'm ripping it up. I had a Yamaha 80, right? I was like, I don't know, 13, 14, however old. I don't remember how old I was. And this guy comes out of his house and comes over to me. I drive over to him. he smacks me in the head. Bow. And he goes, I got kids trying to sleep and you're keeping them up with your fucking motorcycle. And I said, okay, I'm sorry. And I go home and I just put the bike away. And I never said anything because I was so nervous to tell my brothers and my father that some guy around the corner smacked me in the head. I just was. Now, that made my mother feel good that she had her sons and her husband there protecting each other and protecting her. And even till this day, my mother was 86 years old. Between me and my two brothers, my mother doesn't have to worry about anything. She just got a new car. She's 86. She just got a new car. She got a Honda Civic, brand new car. She had a leak in the basement. Me and my brothers fixed the whole thing. She needs a new piece of furniture. Me and my brothers buy it. If she needs anything. My niece got married. My brother actually gave my sister-in-law money to go buy the dress for my mother. Right? I can't say that's going to happen if you marry a weak man. I can't say that's going to happen. Can't. That's the sad truth, man. I mean, seriously. So, ladies, please don't lie to yourselves and say you got a masculine man at home when you know he's weak. And don't do this either. Don't say, masculine men are abusive and they treat their ladies like shit and so on and so forth. No, they don't. Some do. But I work with plenty of guys that are rough dudes. Okay? Because I work in a blue-collar world. I'm a sewer worker in New York City. What do you think? Some Ivy Leaguer is going to be working in the sewer? No, you're going to have rough kids, rough guys that probably dropped out of high school more times than not and have no choice but to get a blue-collar job that pays well. And thank God my job pays well and benefits and so on and so forth. And all you have to do is go back and look at my video. I did a video with some of the guys I work with. It was a Kevin Samuels video about, what was it about? Oh, we were talking about today's women versus yesteryear's women. All you got to do is, and you'll see the type of guys I'm talking about. These are masculine men, and they make sure they provide for their kids and their wife. And they're going above and beyond. They don't just provide, they're going above and beyond. Anyway, I think that's it for me. I get my point across. Ladies, don't do it. It's a mistake. And guys, if you are weak, learn from your mistakes. I don't know what to tell you. Or, I don't know. I don't think there is, if a guy is a simp, I don't think there's any change in him, to be honest with you. I really, really don't. I've never seen a simp become a stud. I just never seen it. I did 2 videos called "Don't Date Down," and I'm going to put them in the comment section. I'm going to put them in the comment section, and you can check out the "Don't Date Down" videos. But we're pretty much done. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to put this up, and then I'm going to forget. Oh, I should have said this. I should have said that. I should have said this. I should have said that. And I forget because I just do the live feeds. I just do on the whim. But next week will be Serious and Silliness 1 year, and KB is helping me out, actually. And I'm going to have a montage of all my guests that have been on. Wishing me luck. And I'm going to have some really cool interviews that I'm trying to set up for my 1 year anniversary for Serious and Silliness. I love doing it, so I'm going to keep doing it. I like the live feeds from time to time. Mostly I like the interviews because, like I said, since I'm a guy and I'm a masculine guy, all the interviews are bodybuilders, powerlifters, arm wrestlers. Even the girls are arm wrestlers and powerlifters. And then the other side, it's a manosphere. And I have girls on. Usually they're dating coaches, therapists, so on and so forth. And it's great. And I think the channel is doing well. It's productive. I mean, within 1 year, I have 1,690 subscribers. The subscribers has slowed down probably because the weather is nice and nobody's watching YouTube that much. But hopefully it'll pick up. I'm going to keep, I'm going to keep going because the subscriptions aren't dropping. The subscriptions are still going up, even though they're going up slowly, but they're not dropping. All right, I'm out. That's it. That's a quick one. Now, since I don't have to go to sleep, I don't have to wake up too much, I think I'm gonna go see if I can watch a movie or something. Usually I watch a movie, and then my dog comes and hangs out with me. And that's it. All right, people, later.